Hey guys, Rich from Rich Mid Gaming. Hope everyone is doing fantastically well. And apologies for this slightly belated episode of the Weekly Bugle. To be honest with you, it's not like we've got a huge amount of MCP content to actually talk about this week. It's been.
But all of the characters were revealed.
I haven't introduced you yet. People don't know you're here.
People always know I'm here. I'm the fucking co-host of the channel.
What are you doing? You can't just jump in and... Oh, Quinn's here, everyone. There we go. Spoil the surprise.
Bag.
Spoil the surprise. Quinn, how you doing? You've got the remnants of a McFlurry.
I do, yeah. I was intentionally late to this episode just because I wanted a McFlurry for the name.
They were the technical issues. The technical issues, people, were Quinn could not get back from McDonald's quick enough to make it here in time. So there you go.
It's not like I went out to go to McDonald's then came back. It was on my way.
Well, if you hadn't have gone, you'd have been on time, wouldn't you?
Yeah, equally being on time does nothing for me, so...
This is true. This is true.
Whereas being late gives me a McFlurry.
So, Quinn, I asked in chat, I asked a little...
You put a poll, didn't you?
A little poll. Do we think we're going to see anything from Adepticon? And I think the resounding consensus is absolutely not.
I voted no.
I just don't see us getting anything from there, which is quite sad. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's a really good opportunity to do it, and they just haven't. And
we're gonna get mini extravaganza in like fucking 3 months. Woo.
Yeah, which, I mean, maybe I'm being picky, but it's not good enough. The one thing we did, however, get, Quinn, and we haven't seen them all yet, but was a bunch of alternate art promo cards, which is pretty cool. Like,
it'd be cooler if we could get them.
Well, I have asked like a few people, like, let's have a quick look at this first one, this Age of Ultron one. I've asked a couple of people, like, oh, is it, you're able to get the like apps, they're like literally limited to one per person. So nothing much new on the Age of Ultron one. I mean, it's pretty cool.
It's from the Ultimate Encounter, right?
It is the Ultimate Encounter one. Yes, yeah. So he's got like his red cape on there, hasn't he? But one that I did want to look at, Quinn, because I already have some alternate artwork for this one, and it's the Avengers Assemble one.
Lay it on thick, Rich. Lay it on thick.
But are you seeing anyone in that Avengers Assemble that we haven't? I mean,
there's a dude in the background. And
is that Is that Hyperion?
He looks like the most generic man I've ever seen. So maybe.
I mean, we get Hulk in like some cool armor.
Yeah, cool. We get like Dan battered with slightly longer hair.
Yeah, we get a battered Thor as well, don't we? But that could be Hyperion. I think potentially in the middle.
Oh, yeah, on the subject of Avengers Assemble cards that I fucking want. So there was an event at Just Play on Sunday. And I decided not to go because I was planning on going, but I decided not to just because I wanted to take a bit of a break and I wanted to do some writing. And you know what the prize for second place was? Was
it some of the cards?
It was that Avengers Assemble card that I've wanted since the game came out.
Dear me. I may one day give mine up. Glyn Seymour, good afternoon, buddy. Hope you're well. Hope you are well. The next one we've had, Quinn, that does have some... very strange versions of characters on is Dark Reign.
Yeah, I mean, it's the, like, Norman Osborn taking over S.H.I.E.L.D. thing, right?
I think so, yeah.
It's got Iron Patriot flying over, and then it's got, like, Ares in the middle, I want to say.
Is it Ares? Is that what we think? Is that who we think that is?
I think that's who it is in the Dark Illuminati comic that's based on.
Okay, so maybe it is. I want some cool custom dice instead of cards. Yes. Yeah, dice would be cool. Having different coloured dice.
Yeah, as long as they don't have the crit on upside down.
Oh, no, that really annoys. I mean, I said to Jonah today, I was like, it's the reason why I'm never buying those, because they've done the crit the wrong way around. It's like, not
Makes
good.
me very sad. I don't like
But I
it.
quite like this, like, you know, the Dark Reign. It's just a shame that, like, we can't get them over here. Like, and we
Yeah,
don't really
it's
do
almost
the
like that's
whole
really shit.
we don't really do the whole con thing over here. So yeah, and then we've got a nice updated version of Follow Me, with Thanos leading from the front.
Yeah,
you've got-
with Sam.
yeah, Thanos has fought alongside the Avengers before, but I think
I feel
you've
like
got
they just put two of the most obscene models in the game on the card together.
you've got, is that Lady Thor next to them?
Mighty Thor. Yep, looks like Mighty Thor and Hercules, I want to say.
Could be, but he's got like an eye patch, which is strange.
Uh,
If you look at he's got like a red eye.
he's got pink eye.
It's got pink eye. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he looks like he's got like a bandolier. Is it a bandolier that it's called? With
Yeah,
like
bandolier.
ammo and
It's not a
stuff on,
bandana.
which makes me feel like that's maybe not
I
Hercules.
mean, he's got, like Hercules' little hat.
He does have. Yes. Okay. There we go.
You know me, I'm a fan of characters with little hats.
With little hats. Magic hats as well, wasn't it? Juggernauts. Juggernaut
Magic little hat. Yep.
And then Quinn, the card that I have been reaching out to everybody I know
Would it be Crew of the Milano, Rich?
who is there is Crew of the Milano. I get absolute goosebumps from this card. For not only, first of all, is it great artwork of, you know, my favourite Guardians characters in the middle, but then you start looking around
Like,
the
ooh,
periphery.
That's an Agent Venom right there.
Agent Venom. You obviously got a version of Danvers like in the top,
Yeah.
which is okay. That's fine. There is then
There's a
what I
dude at
think
the
is
bottom
like
right.
that's either like a Nova or a Warlock.
No,
You've then
surely
got
that can't be Nova, because Nova has like.
oh,
the
Nova
full
has the
helmet.
full mask on. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've then got like what looks like the Red Guardian guy.
Yeah,
know,
or like Ant-Man with just an A on his forehead.
I think it definitely looks like a star.
I mean, like, Jonah is questioning whether it's Corsair, and to that I say, who the fuck is Corsair?
It could be Corsair. Yes. Yeah, it could be Corsair. Excuse me. You've then got like somebody in a black and white outfit.
At the top, yeah.
At the
I
top?
think that's Nebula, because of the blue.
Oh, maybe.
It's like Nebula borrowing Gamora's clothes.
And then right down in the bottom left-hand corner, I don't know if that's Thanos or if it's somebody else that's blue. Could it be? I mean, Ronan has a hood usually, doesn't it?
I think the one in the bottom left could actually be Nova. Like, I feel like he has like the little face mask.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm gonna go shut my window because the dog's barking.
We can't hear it, so that's fine.
Oh, it was lighting up on Discord, but oh well.
But yeah,
Okay.
super cool. Cyclops' daddy. Yes, there we go. Super
Oh,
cool
right,
artwork.
that dude who's like
Yes.
friends with the Starjammers, which is the shittest name for anything I've ever heard.
Yeah, if you watch the, it's
He's in the 90s.
90s. He's in the 90s cartoon. Yeah, where Scott meets him and things. But yeah, some super cool stuff there, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, a bit disappointing from everything else. Would have loved to. The lady hiding under Groot's arm could be Moondragon. She has the forehead gem. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'd not actually spotted her. So yeah. Could be that could be it. So, but yeah, that is it, guys, from Adepticon so far, which is a little bit disappointing, I think.
That's all we're gonna get from Adepticon. Like,
I've seen very mixed reviews around Adepticon. I've seen a few people having a bit of a whinge about it. Not a whinge, sorry.
People on the internet whinging about things.
I know, right?
What?
And I must admit, at first, when I first read it, I was a bit like, "Oh, come on, get a grip." You know, we're grown men playing with toy soldiers. But then somebody else put underneath what had actually happened, and I do think that they maybe dropped the ball a little bit with this. It sounds like a lot of the prize support that was promised. Stream over. There we go, Glenn. Roll credits. You know, maybe. But I do think like maybe they've dropped the ball a little bit. And if people have bought these tickets for certain things that included prize support, there's supposed to be like this, apparently this prize support wall that you could grind out games for and then earn points and then convert those points into prizes. If that was promised and that's not there, that feels a bit bad, I think.
Shit, isn't it?
I think so. I really do think so. But Quinn, as we didn't have much to talk about this episode, I've been reflecting this last week.
You've
Quinn.
been contemplating life,
Life
you made,
and reflecting,
such as letting me on this channel.
I mean, yeah. Every time I see Jonah in chat, I just think, even though he's Welsh, he'd have been a much better choice. No, but as you guys know, or as you may not know, I, for the first time, managed to make the cuts in the TTS League after losing my first game. So I redeemed myself. And Quinn, you've been getting a lot of games and a lot of reps with different characters, haven't you, of late?
Especially I've been going all over.
Especially now Big Ron has
Big Man Ronald
has joined TTS. And I was thinking about loads of characters that we've shit on over the past 12 months. And
there's no other way to put it.
There is no other way of putting it, right? There's no other way of putting it. So these are characters that whenever we've done tier lists, whenever we've talked about characters or anything else like that, they have been in that sort of D, C tier of characters. Some before changes, some after changes. But I've picked 11 characters. Let me check.
Ooh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 11 characters that I think maybe need another little look at. And some of them may have gone up in value. Some of them may have actually gone down in value even more. But I think as we've got more playtime with them, as we're trying them out in new things, I know we've got, we've had a few that we've spoke about recently as well. So I thought it would be a Rich Mid Gaming, Rich's Midlife Crisis Protocol. Congrats. Yeah. Cheers, Glenn. Thank you.
Like Glenn, it's very generous that you think he's middle-aged. He's almost dead.
I am from the north of England. Remember that is.
Life prospects up here aren't great.
I am. Well, it's you don't have much. You don't have much left, do I?
You go down, man, and die.
So I thought, as everyone loves a tier list. People fucking love a tier list, don't they? Especially
Apart from that one guy.
Especially
that one guy hates them.
So what I thought I would do is, I've got 11 characters here. So we've got Carnage, Cassandra Nova, Clea, Cyclops, Ebony Maw, Loki, Ms. Marvel, Ronan, Ultron, Winter Soldier, and Wolverine. And I think it's fair to say, Quinn, at some point over the last 6 months, we have shit all over one of these, all of these characters. Sometimes it's one of us and the other one defends them. Sometimes it's just both of us shitting on them. So I thought
it's very rare. It's very rare that you shit on a character and I defend them. We'll put it that way.
It is quite true. Yeah, it is quite true. But I thought it would be a nice little thing to give these guys a second chance, a redemption, if you like, of moving slightly up that tier list ranking, and see if they're in any sort of better state than what they were when we last did one of these. I think last time we did one of these was the 1.5 changes.
Yeah, winners and losers of 1.5, right?
But some of these weren't in that because they weren't affected directly. I take it you got through as well, Quinn.
Quinn? No.
Quinn, did you qualify?
No. I've still got to play my final league game. I'm playing it after this, actually. But no, I didn't.
It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
I don't even know who you are.
It's funny, though, because I could have said the same about you last season. You didn't even play.
This is true.
Pleb.
This is true. So, Quinn, I want to start with Carnage. So, Carnage, last time round, we put him into C tier. Now, this was during the 1.5 changes. So my question is, have you had games with or played against Carnage in any way, shape or form, seen him do things that make you think he deserves to move up at all, move down at all, or should he stay exactly where he is?
So I've played a lot of foes, haven't I, Rich? Great deal of foes.
You have played a hell of a lot of foes, yes. Yeah.
And he's never once made it in my roster. So
I'm gonna add to that, Quinn, and say I haven't played a lot of foes. However, I've played against quite a lot of foes recently, and I've not once seen them in anybody's roster.
Also, very quickly, Jonah, I'll buy you a drink at Spring into Marvel.
I'll buy you more. So let me just double check. If you're not going to a cool event like Adepticon to meet new players and play lots of games and have fun, and you're instead going for prize support, I think you need to... Oh, Tanclod, I agree completely, by the way, that would be the reason that I went. But if somebody has gone and paid for a particular ticket to be part of the prize support and that side of it, I could understand why they would feel aggrieved. Now, do I think somebody should be putting that on the internet and having a cry about it? Probably not. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
I, on the other hand, completely disagree because people are just vessels for me to get toys.
But yeah, Tanclod, I agree. They would be the reasons that I would be going. Quinn, I'm going to say off the bat, Carnage is going to actually go down. And actually,
he's going into D tier.
It belongs in D tier. He's got his own little... Him and Colossus and Elektra are in D tier. So yeah,
Jonah, like the reason I can only get you one is because I think I can only get away with one without being ID'd.
Jonah doesn't drink alcohol, so that doesn't matter.
I know he doesn't drink alcohol, but I'll buy him any other sort of beverage.
Okay, next one up, Quinn. I have been singing this girl's praises ever since she came out, and you have always shit on me and said she's rubbish, she's absolutely useless, she's no good anywhere. And then you started playing...
Not the fact that I've been taking the piss out of the fact you called her tanky once,
Tanky Cassandra Nova.
Half a year ago.
Yep, Tanky Cassandra Nova. So, I think originally I had her in B, you had her in D, so we agreed on C, but you were reluctant to let her stay out of that D category. So, you've been playing some games with her, particularly in, was it Red Skull's Cabal?
Yeah, so like sort of over the past week, I delved a little bit into Red Skull Cabal with your boy Big Man Ronald, as he is known colloquially, and like she did some really interesting things there. Like the way I sort of built it, it became like sort of a control attrition team. And,
Okay.
like, being able to mind possess people and walk them away their speed can do horrible things to certain teams.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
The issue I found with her, like even under Red Skull, so you're getting more power for dealing damage, is that she just does not have enough power to like fund her kits like in a sustainable way.
Yeah, she does suffer a little bit from that, doesn't she? But I think she's got a lot of utility, and I think in certain matchups she can be good. But are you in agreement now that there is, if you get it right with her, she can actually do quite a good job, can't she?
Yeah, and for that I will remove my reluctance to leave her in C.
You're not going to let me put her in B?
No,
she stays where she is.
Yeah, she stays where she is, but she's more settled in her place now.
Okay, right.
She's not standing on like a knife's edge, ready to fall into the abyss that is D tier.
Let's have a quick look. One, if you're paying more for a big tournament, you should get more than a couple of cards, in my opinion. I do agree to some extent. Doom Prophecy changes and all you've got banned, really. Yeah, that murdered Carnage, didn't it, Quinn? That was just the end of it for him.
I mean, you were a big fan of Doom Prophecy, All You've Got Carnage, weren't you?
I really wasn't, no. I was on the receiving end of that more times than I I care to say.
I mean, you were on the receiving end of it once, and I dazed your entire team in a single activation.
Yes. And then have seen Carnage absolutely ruin Web Warriors, but against anything energy, rip Cletus. Yeah, he's so easy to take down. That's the problem. He's so easy. Quinn, a new character, Clear. Some people like talked around her being the discount Red Skull, 3-threat version of Red Skull. We had her in C tier.
She takes all of the worst attributes of Red Skull and gets rid of all of the good ones. Yes, I would like that as my 3-threat character, please.
So, I've seen her a lot in Convocation. I'm not going to lie. I've seen her played a lot in Convocation. But whenever I've seen her played in Convocation, she hasn't actually done anything. Like,
yeah, because she's shit.
Very, very little. Very, very little. So I don't think she is not completely useless. I think you can include her in a roster. You may play her, but I don't think she's D tier. So I think she probably stays.
I feel like you'd be better off playing 3-threat down than bringing fucking Clear.
I mean, it is hard, isn't it, in Convocation when you've got access to Lizard to play Clear.
Yeah, exactly. There's just so many like I want to put her in D just for her uncle's name.
Okay.
Because we're going to play the alphabet game again. Because I find that more entertaining than just doing a tier list.
Just have a quick look. Rocket, Star-Lord, Cable, Domino, and Green Goblin are all running rapid in my meta. Carnage just gets destroyed here, Glyn, like you said. Completely agree, Tanklord. You have got so many long-ranged energy damage dealers out there.
I mean, if I'm going to offer him up, Tony Stank.
Tony Stank. Yep, Tony Stank. Ronan, right? Ronan's got a range 4 energy attack that then just pushes him as well. So it's, it makes it even harder for him. So yeah, I don't think he's in a good spot. So far, 3 characters down, and the only one that's had redemption is Cassandra Nova, and you're letting her stay in C.
Yeah, because look, the only way they'll learn is if they suffer.
Right, Quinn. This is one I think we're going to disagree on.
Oh dear.
Because I am starting to agree with a certain Big Ron.
Oh no.
So it's your boy Colossus.
No.
Sorry, your boy Cyclops. Apologies.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like Ron's opinions on Colossus
no.
similar to mine.
We definitely agree on that. No, it's Cyclops. We had him as C tier. I am coming round to the idea that he's not as bad as we maybe gave him credit for. And I do think, whilst his leadership is suboptimal, let's say, I do think as more characters get released for the X-Men that can generate a lot of power. So the likes of Honey Badger are really good at generating power. X-23 generates so much power with her builder and doesn't have a huge amount to spend it on, really. So I think because of that, you're getting a bit more value from his leadership ability. I think the problem still is that there are not too many characters who you want to actually use it on. But now with the likes of like Gambit with his spender, Rogue with her spender. So I think just because he's got more better characters around him, because of the way his leadership works, it actually raises the value of his leadership quite a bit more, to the point where I think he should be in B tier.
If I just force him down into D tier, does that mean that he just levels out and goes back into C?
No, because I'm controlling it. I do get final say.
He stays in C.
Oh, right. We'll have a little...
I get the arguments you've made, right? However, there is still a fundamental issue with his leadership, right? And that is the fact that spenders are almost never as good as builders for the simple reason that builders build you power, and you can use power for superpowers, which tend to have more concrete or like powerful effects than spenders per se.
I get that, but when you've got certain characters who who have really good power generation, and then other characters who maybe aren't quite as good at generating power, or not necessarily not as good, but like let's take Gambit for example. Gambit's actually pretty good at generating power, but he has a lot to spend it on, right?
Yeah.
He's going to be spending that 1 power per attack a lot of the time to trigger the hit to the wild that then. Is that the one?
He gives you a little something extra, and then you potentially get an effect.
So
also, Glyn makes a very good point.
As Quinn won the last budget versus the money, he wins all tide. You Cyclops.
I now own 51% of the channel, therefore I get to decide ties.
So, I'm struggling with that one. I really do think he's got enough now to get up to B.
I mean, honestly, I'm surprised I didn't put him in D earlier.
I think we may have argued for C previously.
I mean, yeah, and I feel like we're going to do that again here, and he's going to be C again, and I'm okay with that because we've had this argument before.
Let me know in chat. Chat, what do you guys think? C or B for Cyclops in terms of how good he is? Just answers on a postcard. But I do think we'll come back to him, Quinn.
We've got 3 votes for C.
Right, you cannot vote twice and get a vote.
Okay, well, I voted 3 times, so that means I can and I do get a vote.
Right, we'll come back to that one. Quinn, a character that was definitely a D tier. So he started off in D. He then got bumped up to a C tier. Is Mr. Ebony Maw. And his card is better, right? He's in a better spot. Michael putting S. We got B's, C.
I mean,
Can we get a
C? I would be very
C?
surprised if we got a single S tier character in this list.
But I didn't paint Carol in time. Never mind. Sorry, Nuclear Kid. So, Ebony Maw, Quinn. Since the changes, and since not only us, but everybody else who makes content and everybody else who, talks about MCP, most people agree Ebony Maw is in a much better place than what he was a year ago, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever come up against him?
I have.
Okay.
So I played against him in Marcus's Convocation a couple of months back. And he held an entire flank on his own, which was very impressive. And that seems to be the role that Marcus has found for him, actually, in that Convocation playstyle. Just because he's kind of hard to kill. Like, when your opponent's having to dedicate resources elsewhere, so this was on Terrigen, so very split map.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't actually afford to shove anything over his way. Other than, like, I think I had, like, 2-3 threats over there, and they got absolutely ruined by him.
Okay.
And, like, he actually ended up being really pivotal in that game, because it just sort of got to a point where I needed to run away from all of the other characters, and Ebony Maw was just standing there waiting for me, and I was like, oh no.
He can take a punch, can't he? And,
he can,
he's not susceptible to throws, or, terrain and stuff like that. And just to be clear, guys, this is Ebony Maw without any gems. I am of the firm belief that Ebony Maw with gems is no good. He is.
I think
he is not a 6-threat character.
I think that's my opinion with a lot of gem characters. Is that like it's a cool idea, but equally they don't have the stats for that threat category, and the gem just doesn't do enough.
I agree. Because I think that one more threat, then you're getting into Magneto, Hulk, She-Hulk.
Yeah, exactly. It's
territory, and all of a sudden you go,
Hulk, and it's like, it's definitely not.
No.
Also, if Jonah is still in the chat, I will give you some minstrels if you put
no product placement. No product placement. We're not allowed.
We're not the BBC.
So we had him in C before. What are we saying? Has he found a home in Convocation, or could you see him doing that in other affiliations as well?
It's hard to say because a lot of the time I'm just sort of sat there like, why would you not just take Ghost Rider as your out of affiliation pick? Because Ghost Rider is real good.
It's really hard, isn't it, when you've got somebody like Ghost Rider? Because typically, if you're taking a 5-threat out of affiliation pick, it means that you don't have a 5-threat in your squad. Because it's very, very rare that you can take unless you're going super, super tall.
Yeah.
But it's really rare that you're going to have room for 2 5+ threat characters. So I think, I'm happy keeping him in Sequin, but I'm happy that Marcus has found a good space for him.
Yeah, I think I agree that I'm happy to keep him in C just because I don't know. It feels like yes, he's finding a niche and he's seeing play, but it's more a question of how prevalent and widespread that play is going to be, right?
Yeah,
and I don't think it's going to be that large.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be it's going to be very much crisis dependent as well and all that kind of stuff, isn't it?
So... yeah, also put Cyclops back down.
Nope.
Oh. C
B
for Cyclops.
No, B for Beam.
No.
Quinn, a character that, and I'm gonna call this one now, Quinn. I really, really rated this character very high. And this must be going back over 6 months now. You shit all over him. So this is one that you've shit all over. And
I think I've shit over all of the.
I think you probably have at some. I think you probably have at some point.
It's almost like I'm the one that's really inflammatory on this show because
Loki,
it's more fun.
Loki,
I haven't shat on Loki. How dare you?
You put him in C tier.
Yeah, because at the time the Space Gem was shit.
You shit all over him. No, this was Loki without the Space Gem.
Oh, I don't like 4th Threat Loki.
It was even worse with the gems because I went back and watched it all.
Yeah, but that was with the old gems, right?
Well, I also think your opinion of Loki has changed quite a bit as well.
I don't think it's necessarily changed. It's just that the Space Gem gives him so much more versatility, I find.
It really does, doesn't it? It really does. And that him starting with 3 power is real good. And we talk a lot. We spoke just then, Quinn, didn't we, about how putting a gem on a character, because obviously this makes him a 5-threat character. But because of that, I am a god. It kind of negates.
Loki has the tech to be able to stand there with the 5 threats. He's not going to hit as hard as most 5 threats. I think that's basically guaranteed. But what he brings to the table is the fact that he hits at a comparable level to some 5 threats.
Yep.
So you don't feel like you're missing out in that regard. He's defensively sound between having I Am a God and Trickster up. So you don't feel like your big, high threat investment is being killed super easily. And then he brings the God of Mischief aura, which just causes so much pain for your opponent.
It's that, and then you couple it with a character like Groot, for example, who can dish out root, or even a Sinister, or whoever else there is out there that can dish out root.
Tanky Cassandra Nova.
Tanky Cassandra Nova. 2 5 threats feels. I feel like Groot's quite nice at 3 threat to have him in.
I've run it before
Guardians.
in Red Skull Cabal, and it worked. But
He's got a nice.
The reason I stopped playing that roster was just because it had no answer to Black Order, and it's like, oh, great, that's fun.
Yeah. So I think, Quinn, I genuinely think, and again, this is like taking everything into consideration. I think now Loki has earned himself a B tier. I think what he brings to the game, that range 4 aura as well. Let's not forget that it's range 4. So you get him on a gamma wave or something like that, and all of a sudden, Reality Gem Corvus Glaive just gets absolutely cut off because he doesn't get to explode any of those stupid crits that he gets. So I really like him. I have actually toyed around and played him in my Guardians roster. Again, to your point, it's really hard to include him at 5 threat when Ghost Rider's in there.
Ghost Rider's just sat there like, hey, I want to play.
And, he's almost the opposite. Loki stops you from rolling all those crits. Ghost Rider loves it when you roll all those crits. The number of times I've caught people out. Let's have a quick look here then. I think he needs another balance pass unless everything else is coming up to meet Ghost Rider. Oh, okay, Michael. So you think... I think Ghost Rider is actually quite easy to deal with, if I'm being brutally honest. People just need to learn how to do that. I think conditions on Ghost Rider he really struggles with. Yes, he's immune to a lot of them, but you get Ghost Rider into one corner of the board and slap a slow on him, and all of a sudden he's going to find it really difficult. He's probably going to have to take a turn or an activation to get rid of that slow, because otherwise he's pretty useless. And you can murder him down. Like, Ghost Rider himself isn't, the tankiest of characters. He's got a decent health pool, but 3-4-4 with no defensive tech isn't very good. Isn't very good.
It's nothing extraordinary.
Yeah, you can do damage to him very easily. The thing you have to balance is, do you take him out or do you just ignore him? And if you just ignore him, I found he probably ends up doing more than by even having to take him out 4 times. But Quinn, you watched the game I played against Ron. We had a casual game the other day, didn't we? And I took his Ghost Rider out. But because I was able to put conditions on him, in particular Judgment,
yeah.
I was able to take him out so that he didn't have enough power to then be able to use Deal with the Devil. So that's the key thing, is that you need to manage him. Loki plus clear with Bane of Dambalar. Move both of them up. Loki is B, in my opinion, but for the love of God, put Cyclops back. He misses his home D tier. You have to include his respawn tactic card, though. You do?
I mean, you do, but equally, like, you always do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to not. I had this conversation with somebody the other day, and they said, well, yeah, but it takes up a slot, and I never get to use it. And I was like, that's brilliant, because it means that they're
the whole
ignoring...
point of taking the card is that you are disincentivizing your opponent from killing him.
Yeah,
because if you 100%. Don't have that card, your opponent just turns around and goes, boom, you're dead.
Ever thought about a versus game for the memes, D tier versus D tier? I hadn't, Glenn, but I like that idea.
Wasn't this floated around last Bugle?
It was, wasn't it? Like, us picking...
No, it wasn't the Bugle. It was the live battle rep with foes versus web warriors.
I think it may have been, yeah. Watch Richard's last TTS game and the slow, it really wrecked a Ghost Rider. It really does, mate. It really does. So I think that's the way you get around Ghost Rider. Quinn, another character who...
Whoa. I haven't given my rating for Loki, thank you very much.
Okay.
A tier.
A tier?
Yeah. With the caveat that it is Space Gem Loki, because that is the only Loki I give a fuck about.
Does he go all the way up to A? I mean, he's good. He's very good.
You can't be fucking about with, does he go up to A, when you just slid Cyclops into B.
I didn't think he'd notice that one. Yeah, I mean, I really, really like him. I really, really like him. And I think, fingers crossed, Quinn, under a new leader, he could be even better. Is my thought
Odin,
process. Cough Odin. Not, I'm... Just in case he can hear me on the off chance that Pantheon is real, I'm not saying fuck off Odin. I'm saying cough Odin. Hopefully. I think it's Heimdall. Quinn, another character who, I'm going to be honest with you, I think a lot of my hatred of this character, hatred's a strong word, but is the fact that I was really excited for the Avengers game that came out either last year or the year before. I was really, really looking forward to it. And then...
I mean, I'll tell you now, the Guardians one is much better.
It really is. I was forced to play a character that I couldn't give 2 flying shits about, and that is Kamala Khan. It's the only trailer I've seen for any Marvel property that hasn't got me more excited about seeing that Marvel property. I get they've changed her, they've turned her into Green Lantern basically, haven't they? With her
Blue Lantern.
Blue
Thank you very
Lantern.
much. They are blue energy effects.
With her, I mean, sorry, I'm just going to do quick ones here. I mean, if the issue is he's into Ghost Rider, most 5 threats can't get that.
Not Ghost Rider.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Kamala Khan, we are down at C tier, Quinn, and then you've been playing around with her, haven't you? I obviously got to play a game with her the other day against you, and that's probably only the second game I've had with her. But going back in, looking at what she does, particularly in Web Warriors, I've got a lot of time for her. I've got a hell of a lot of time. So she was C tier. For me, she's done enough, or I've seen enough now, to bump her up to a B tier, I think.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with that. Like, I think she does kind of have a little niche in Web Warriors with the fact that if she's allowed to reroll skulls, suddenly High Five becomes a very consistent high damage attack.
Yep, and that movement she gets with Miles on, is it
a better tomorrow?
A better tomorrow? Yeah, he's. Oh, I couldn't believe it when you worked it out and saw how far she moved. Really, really good. Really good. And as you say, 5 dice builder, but with all of those rerolls, and then with Miles's leadership. And she's got a throw as well, I believe. In her
when she's in the small mode.
In the small, which is weird. She can throw stuff when she's small, but not big. But I really, really like her. I think she's good value. Quinn, a character that I, in the past, have shit on. And it was a toss-up for me to include either Ronan or Drax in this list, because I kind of had them both in the same C tier.
I have been a staunch supporter of Ronan.
You have.
Game.
Yeah, you have. And obviously I got back into my Guardians. I can't remember for what reason.
I can't remember either.
It passes me by.
Completely trivial.
Passes me by. But I've been playing, as you guys know, I've been playing a lot of Guardians lately. And I didn't even have him in my roster at first. And I've been playing with him more and more. And actually in my last, I think, definitely in my last league game, he was in there instead of Gamora, because she's typically my go-to 4 threat.
Go-to 4, yep.
I think it's 17. Yeah, it's 17 threat. I think that's where she comes in. But it's the fact, Quinn, that he has the highest floor of any character in this game, bar none. And why do we say that? Well, basically, if you daze him, he gets to advance and make an attack. And then when you KO him, before he's KO'd, he gets to advance and make an attack. And in either of those situations, he's more than likely going to be able to get off a Kree Justice, because it costs 4 power and he has 6 stamina on his front and backside. And that is an 8 dice energy, explosive on a wild, and dishes out stun and stagger. And can quite often daze or KO the character that has attacked you in the first place. Plus, his range 4, it's not a builder, is it? But his range 4 0 cost attack, universal weapon, 5 dice energy with a push. He's got a throw on his strike that's physical. And then, as I mentioned, that Kree Justice. And do not underestimate judgment as a condition.
Oh, it's so good.
You know, being able to take out a big character and them not come back powered up is huge. So, yeah, I think for me, Quinn, Ronan, I don't think he's A tier, because, A tier for us was like, if he's in your roster, you're probably going to be playing him every game. He's a lot more niche, but I think he absolutely earns a spot in that B tier.
A tier.
A tier? Is he that good? I suppose he has got that flaw, hasn't he? He has got that flaw.
Which means, technically he's the best model in the game if you just look at flaws. Also, that I think it can't be understated enough that, you get to move him around the board and go, "You stand accused," every time you move him, and it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, yeah, it is quite fun. It is quite fun. Quinn, on to the next one. And it's a core box character. He had a big change. We'd originally put him at C tier. He's obviously got similar tech to Ghost Rider in the Age of Ultron and things like that. He's got some nice attacks. The game we played the other week, you had him in your squad, didn't you? And he did a pretty good job in the game that we
Oh
played
yeah,
in Spider Foes.
yeah, in the Spider Foes.
And he's been a regular or a semi-regular appearance in our budget rosters. What's your thoughts on Ultron? Obviously, you've been playing Cabal recently. Have you
Yeah.
included him in your rosters at all, or
He was in sort of my beginning roster. He sort of got weeded out a little later on when I started refining what the exact goal was. But yeah, I enjoy Ultron. The issue that I have with Ultron is that he's kind of like as you mentioned, like Age of Ultron, kind of like Deal with the Devil, except it's just not as good.
well, the amount of power you need for it as well?
The amount of power is doubled, and sure, you don't kill one of your own dudes, but also Ultron is like I feel like if Ultron had 6/6 stamina instead of 6/5, I'd be a lot happier with where he was.
Yeah, I still think he is. I still think he's a solid character, especially in that budget roster, type of
Yeah,
scenario. But I think you're right. I think the moment then you start looking around at, let's look at other four threat characters, right, that are of a similar ilk and do, not necessarily do similar things, but that you're going to put in there. I mean, Ronan, right? First of all, another four threat that I would say is better. Rogue. I think there's a lot of
like
comparables.
Captain Marvel, Black Panther,
Yeah,
Voodoo. Like I can name a lot of four threats better than Ultron, but
yeah.
that's not really why we're here.
No, but that's what I mean. Is well, because it is. It's comparing them, to other characters and things. So I think he, again, he's considered, but I don't think he's ever. I don't think there's a situation where he's going to be included in your like an auto include in your roster.
Yeah,
So I think that's Cyclops should be B. Ultron 2 Live more only good versus Brotherhood Mags. I think he's got to
I
get some
mean,
other stuff as well.
we all know that we never listen to Ron because he has terrible takes. I mean,
Yes,
like last Bugle, he was going on about how much he loved Elektra.
this is true. This is true. Quinn, another character that this is a recent one that we both did
Oh,
is your boy Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes.
Ducky
We both
Barnes.
we both put him in D tier when we did our movers and shakers of 1.5.
Okay.
I've played with him quite a lot. He is
As
my
have
ninth.
I.
He's my ninth character in my current Guardians list, and indeed the
Okay.
Guardians list that I'm taking to Elysium this weekend. I get that his 4 dice range 5 builder, power equal to damage dealt, should be rubbish. And I don't know what it is. He just seems to roll really, really well.
It's the fact that he just gets to shoot multiple times. So effectively, instead of it being a 4 dice builder, it's actually 4 dice and then another 4 dice.
Yeah,
And getting damage through on that is actually a lot more likely. And I've liked him when I was testing out like Shadowlands Daredevil Syndicate.
yeah.
I liked
Anyone
him
that
in
can
that
give him
lot.
anyone that can give him rerolls, Quinn. Anyone
Yeah.
that can give him rerolls. So whether he's stood near a Zemo, whether he's in Guardians with winging it, whether it's I actually tried him in X Force. Maybe the gun line it would work, but
Yeah.
the moment you give him those rerolls, he can do a really good job. I'm gonna say he goes into A tier for me, Quinn.
Oh.
I think he's a
Oh.
highly, highly splashable 3 threat character.
I'm
And
going to go with B for Buchanan.
I I think now he's got a affiliation as well
Mm.
in Shield. I think you're going to see him played a hell of a lot in Shield.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair.
So, bearing in mind he is now affiliated to Shield, and A tier was always like, he'll make it in your roster, and he'll probably make it in your squad, but maybe not always. I feel like
wash your dirty mouth out, boy.
Stop Quinn, Rich is right. Bucky,
I'm gonna
is
have
it?
to fly over there and like pull out a bar of soap.
To be fair, Dizzard does make the best point. A tier because Quinn's wrong. I mean,
Right. Well, D tier because Rich is also wrong.
no, but do you agree, Quinn, with the fact that he now has on top of all of the good stuff that we've said about him, and he now has an affiliation. He's an affiliated 3 threat. Maybe the best.
Affiliated 3 is pretty good.
Yeah, like him and Iron Man. You know, like a D map, him on one and Iron Man on the other. Like that's strong for Shield. Really strong. Why Buchanan? Oh wait, Civil War.
Because that's his middle name. Like.
Lastly, then Quinn, and I had to put him in here because
Glenn, throw off the yoke of oppression and put him in A tier. If anything, I'm the one being oppressed here.
It's because you're ginger.
Not even that ginger.
Let me turn the contrast up on the stream and see.
Doesn't matter how much contrast you put in, it's going to look brown at best.
Wolverine
D tier.
was C tier at first.
D-tier.
We had him as C tier.
D tier. D tier. And I will brook no argument for D tier. He's in D tier.
It's really hard, isn't it? Because there'll be arguments, Quinn, that say, oh well, you know, if you put him with Colossus and then you if you put him with a really poor other character and then spend 3 tactics cards slot on him, it can be quite good.
You can roll what an average 4 threat does and have the same impact throughout the course of a game.
My argument,
the fact that you've got another 4 threat that does fuck all to enable him.
Yeah, well, and this is my point, Quinn, is that every 4 threat character should be standalone. They should be able to generate their own power, and they shouldn't need a tactics card or a leadership ability to make them great. Sorry, to make them good.
I feel like you can allow 1 tactic card, but beyond that, just no.
No, but they should be able to be played without it, right? That's my key. Like, that's my key thing.
I'm thinking about like Ghost Rider as an example of that not necessarily being true.
He's 5.
Like,
he's 5 threat though. He's 5 threat, so I think that's a bit different.
Surely you don't want someone to be less self-sustainable the higher threat they go. That's surely not how that works. I mean, right, I'm going to say D on the basis that he's not as good as Cyclops, and Cyclops is C.
Oh, I've already put him into D. Like, I mean...
Oh, it's not caught up on my end.
Oh, yeah, it will do in a moment. 100% D tier. I don't think there's any question about it.
No. If anyone would like to fight us on that, go away. Rethink your life and your opinions and the moral values you hold.
He has the most ironic name for a superpower in this entire game because he's most definitely not the best at what he does. X-23 is better than him, and she's a threat less.
Yeah.
Wolverine is S tier if you can roll wilds. Yes, Glenn. If you could just choose what I'll have 2 crits and 3 wilds, please. Then
so what you're saying is that if you roll better, Wolverine is a good character.
He called it.
There's a Skillshare course that I would like to sell you on, Glyn.
So the argument is still around Cyclops. He's been moved up and moved back down, moved up and moved back down.
We do not negotiate with terrorists, and that is exactly what Big Ron is.
Big Ron is a terrorist, is that what it is?
He's threatening to eat people because he's not getting his own way.
Oh, dearie me. Dearie me. At
least we didn't put Elektra on this list, otherwise he'd be fucking baying for blood if she was.
Oh, I know. Let's do this.
No.
Let's do this quickly.
Moving around. Are you settling on C? Because I feel that's what I've seen so far.
Oh, I can't type. I've lost the ability to type.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
So basically, guys, this poll is, yes is B tier, no is C tier. They're your two options. So
I
let
mean, you
us
do
know.
realise that this is going to be entirely swayed by the fact that I don't want him to be B tier, and therefore people are going to vote out of spite for me.
I don't think anyone would do. Yeah, you would.
I think everyone would do that.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would. So vote yes if you want him B tier. Vote no if you want him in C tier, and then we'll go back and change it.
I mean, that was interesting. For a moment, I had 0 votes. I was very confused.
Yeah, let's have a look. Oh, it's close. It's very close. It's very close. Ron, if you swear, your message gets hidden. Okay.
Yeah, you can't verbally abuse me here, Ron.
Right, Quinn. Let's. You know he's a fucking B, Quinn. Again, if you swear, it gets hidden.
Fuck you, Jonah. Fuck you.
Right, Quinn. Oh, that's difficult to do. Let me get this ready, guys. Apologies. Somebody turned up late, so well, I'll just say he's the reason why I didn't get everything ready. There we go. Should we do that?
Who are you talking about, Ron?
How's the votes looking?
Oh, they're tight.
47%. 40. That still gets hidden.
What have you put now?
All of Ron's comments just get hidden.
There's one that slipped through. You can't admit that I changed the fact Cyclops is good. You didn't do fuck all, Ron.
What's annoying for Ron is you can swear.
Yeah, exactly.
And he can't.
I am freely abusing my privilege on this platform.
Wolverine at 3 threat would be playable.
I mean, Wolverine at 3 threat would be one of the best 3 threats in the game.
I think he'd be.
Like,
I think
he'd be way
far
too
too good. Yeah, far too good. So it is time for our weekly painting competition. We had, honestly, Quinn, I don't think we've had, and I know I say this probably every week, but the number of entries, but also the number of really good quality entries this week, it was so difficult to separate them. But I picked out my 3 favourites. So, Quinn, just remind everyone what the theme was for this week.
Captains, which is literally anyone that could have conceivably held the rank of captain during their tenure as a comic book character.
So, quite broad, to say the least.
What do you mean? It's incredibly specific, just like everything else I do on this show.
But as you guys know, we always pick 2 honourable mentions or runners-up, and then the 1 winner. So, Quinn, the first one was a bit of a late entry from John BW, and it was a
Captain Marvel. Yep.
really, really nice excuse me, conversion of Captain Marvel. Very
so
subtle.
nice that you choked up there, man.
Yeah, I choked. John, you caught me where it hurts. But I want to call out a couple of different things on here. First of all, I mean, as we've seen from John, right, his paint jobs are just immaculate. They're really nice. Good. Yep. But I want to call out, first of all, the sort of mohawk he's given her is really, really nice. You can't tell that it's, that he's used green stuff on it. It's just so good. But also the base, the old saying of bases and faces, that base is real good.
It is real nice. Yeah.
So I really like that. Before we go to the next one, let's have a look. Where are we? Where are we with this vote? It is now 50-50. We've had 20 votes.
Right. I need to quickly log into my alt account to vote.
Pharaoh Man says Carol Danvers can't be in it. She's an air marshal. So it's anyone who has owned...
Pharaoh Man, do you know what her superhero name is? Like, just checking.
So we did say, like, we broadened it to anyone. Basically allow Wolverine to be 3.5 threat. Yeah, that'd probably be right. So anyone with captain in their name or who has been a captain over the years. So that was the rule.
Or could have conceivably held the rank at some point.
Or held the rank at some point. Yes, if somebody's like a colonel, the idea is that they must have been a captain at some point. So, Jess, the vote is: should Cyclops be B tier or C tier? Yes is B, C is no. There seems to be a lot of characters that are trash at their current threat, but one lower they become OP. I agreed. I do agree, Michael. And I think the line, just to is Ron. I know Ron's whinging again.
We're not back in the past. Like, this is caveman times. You being bigger than everyone else doesn't make you immediately king of like the Unga Bunga cavemen.
So, what I'm going to say to that point, Michael, is when we talk about how like a good character and a bad character, I will say that if you take the best character in the game at the moment, who arguably could be, and I'm talking about like, you know, outside of leaderships and those sorts of things, arguably somebody like Dr. Voodoo, Quinn, would you agree is up?
I think people massively inflate how good Voodoo is, for sure. I have opinions that are different to other people's opinions.
Take Dr. Voodoo or any of those like S tier characters.
Did you like my Ron impression there?
It did, it was quite good. And then, mate, not a problem at all.
That's why we do these live now.
You take the worst character in the game, right? Who is Elektra or Colossus? Take your pick.
What? Elektra's S tier. This is what I stand firmly with Ron on this issue. We put aside our differences on Cyclops.
The gap is big, right? So the gap between those two characters is big. But if you then go one up and look at every single A tier character and every single C tier character, the difference is not that big. It's only a couple of little things. Sometimes it's, if they just had one more stamina or if they had access to one reroll, they would be more than okay. You know, look at Thor, for example. If Thor had one reroll, he'd be in a much better position than he is right now.
If Thor had one reroll, I would play him in every game because I like Thor.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's so minute that it can just be that. So quite often, if you say put that 4 to be a 3, they end up being far too good.
Ron, you're entirely correct, and I won't stand for this slander.
What's the slander? What's he saying?
His last two comments.
Elektra is S. I don't know. I really don't know what to do with that boy.
You don't see that Elektra is S tier. Like, what's wrong with you?
I know. Next up is a new at least apologies, Quincy, if you have already entered one of our competitions, but I think it's the first time we've had you on the actual show, and it is another Captain Marvel. I just thought, Quinn, this one was just so clean.
Yeah, it's nice and clean.
Yellows. I mean, I'm painting up my little Marvel characters at the moment from the Marvel United game.
And with their horrific bulbous heads.
I hate painting yellow. But the yellow here is super clean. Love the black lining in between. The face is really good. The base is, again, nothing crazy on there, but again, it's super clean. I just thought this was a really, really good paint job for Danvers. I think he's done really, really well. We're going to end that poll there, by the way, guys. And Cyclops is C tier.
Yes! Vindication!
So yeah, there we go. So yeah, well done, Quincy. As you can see there, guys, 47 to 52. It's a super clean Captain Marvel. I really, really like it. Now,
I've just remembered who Quincy is. Quincy is the person that has converted their Captain America to have like the shield forward pose.
Ah, okay.
Because I remember asking like for anyone that had done it, and Quincy messaged me and like sort of walked me through how he did it.
Ah, cool.
I remember
that's
things
cool.
now. There we go.
Well done, Quinn. It was so hard to pick a winner this week because there were so many good models and good paint jobs, and I've ended up picking out the Pompey painter. I'm assuming somebody from Portsmouth, UK, but I might be wrong. But
I mean,
it was
you know that Pompeii is a place, right?
no Pompey, not Pompeii.
Oh, right, yeah. It's
P-O-M-P-E-Y.
why not I.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. And it was this absolutely
Showdown.
sublime clear majority. Wait, how does it only have a 99% total votes?
Because maths is fun.
Because maths is fun. But I tell you the thing that caught my eye with this, Quinn. Whilst it's a good paint job all round, for me the explosion looked really, really good. This almost like looks like soot that's forming already from the explosion parts, and then a little bit of OSL, and then just a really, really good paint job all round. I love the sort of NMM on the shield. The highlights are really good. Even the little knee pads are really, really nice as well. So I really, really liked his paint job. I
think
I picked it to be the winner.
Yeah, it's really nice. I think Glyn has a challenge that you have to take up. He's thrown down the gauntlet.
Challenge for Electric to win a tourney, bringing Electra in each game. Let's make her the best 4 threat. So, do I have to put her in my roster, or do I have to play her each game?
You have to play her in every single game. And also, you cannot actually lay the gauntlet down for this challenge until you've completed it. So you have to keep playing Electra in every game until you win an event.
Jesus. I don't know who to play her in, though. That's the problem.
And I'll tell you what, because I'm Shadowlands Dareduggan, I will do the same with Shadowlands Daredevil.
All right, yeah, that's fair. Like, anyway, right, painting competition. Pompey painter, absolutely
it's very nice. Yeah,
stunning paint job. You are our painter of the week. You don't win anything, nobody wins anything, but everyone that entered gets put into the prize draw for the Rivals Pack, which I believe, at least here in the UK, has started to be shipped. We've started to see that in places now. So yeah. Rich couldn't win the best AFF. With the best AFF.
The best affiliation,
right. I mean, that's not true, is it, Ron? At all.
I mean...
It's just not true.
You've never beaten Ron in an event.
I've never played him at an event.
Exactly, because you're shit. You don't even get near the tables that Ron hangs out on.
Dear me. Rich paint the yellow area pink first. I use Dwarf Flesh, and the yellow then goes on easily. Yeah, I've been told a few times by that. I'm trying to do quick, easy painting, and yeah, it doesn't really seem to work, but maybe that's what I should be trying. Quinn, you got to pick the theme last week, didn't you?
I did,
so it's my theme this week.
Oh, it's going to be really boring, everyone.
Well, as you guys may have seen, I'm playing a new game at the moment, and I've done a couple of videos on it. So it's a Kickstarter that's just turned up from Simon, X-Men Marvel United. I went all in. I got the bumper pack, but this is all around the X-Men. So, what I want to see is your best mutant roster. So, needs to be 10 characters.
Oh.
But your best mutant roster.
Do they all have to be mutants?
They...
Please say yes. Please say yes.
Yeah, they do have to be mutants. Yes. They've got to be mutants. Cool. Yeah. Cool. They all have to be mutants, but...
I'll keep that in mind.
But you can include Juggernaut.
No! I wanted to disqualify so many people that thought he was a mutant. I was so ready for next week to just be like, oh, we have 2 entries that actually fit the criteria.
No, so because Juggernaut is here, he's in this game in his little chibi form. I will accept rosters with Juggernaut in there as well, but it needs to be a full roster. So full. He was in the Brotherhood of Mutants, so we let him
Look,
off.
right, in that case, if you're allowing anyone that's a mutant, you can actually have Spider-Man.
Why?
Because he's a mutant, but not that kind of mutant. Like,
No.
literally, Sentinels go after him all the time in the comics, but he's not that kind of mutant. He doesn't have an X gene, but he is a mutant.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know what I goddamn mean, Quinn. Right?
I know what you goddamn mean, but I'm twisting your fucking words.
You really are. What Maximoff retcon are we using? Right. The little box artwork. Have I got a box on here? Yes, I do. Right. What you're looking for are characters that come from a pack that have this little symbol on them. Okay? So there we go. Team Cyclock.
I am going to disavow any entry that includes Juggernaut. I hope you all know this.
He doesn't have that power, people, so don't worry
I
about
do
that.
have that power because you chose all of the runners-up and winners this week.
I did.
So I get to do it
Well,
next
you
week.
You didn't turn up, did you? You didn't turn up.
I was getting a McFlurry because I have my priorities straight.
It's fair. Jonah says, I've got a funny story about Pompeii. I'll tell you in person. Too long to type out.
And it will probably get you in prison.
Probably, yeah. Bitten by a mutant spider, Rich. Does being bitten by a spider make you a mutant?
Well, alright, does being bit by a spider turn you into a weird man that can climb walls?
No, but... well, in this universe it does, but...
Like, it's literally a thing. I can literally get you a comic panel
mutant
of,
gene.
Spider-
You need to have the mutant gene or be Juggernaut. That's the rules.
No, you don't get both. You pick one or the other.
That's fair. Yeah, mutant gene or be
Oh wait, so
Juggernaut.
the only mutant you're allowing is Gene. Got it.
yeah, that's it. Guys, I think that's probably it for this week. Quinn, we've got some a couple of competitions coming up, haven't we? A couple of tournaments. We've got a big one this weekend, which is the culmination of 4 previous events at Elysium War Games. Sponsor of the channel, check them out. Link down in the description below. So I can't remember who's going, but Tony Moore will be there. Jed will be there. Chris Chalacum from that 70s bloke will be there.
That guy that's really crap, and you should never let him beat you to win an event. Yeah.
Rude.
The thing is, I don't even think Chalacum's that bad. I just like taking the piss out of you.
Yeah. I feel like you're taking the piss.
I know it hurts Chalacum.
I feel like you're taking the piss out of Chalacum more.
I'm doing it to both of you because
Jonah, we're at Elysium, mate, tomorrow. So
because we're cool.
Yeah,
because
we're cool dudes. And then I want to give a plug to Spring Into Marvel. So it's a big 2-day event happening. Tony Moore over at Element War Games has organised this one. 2-dayer. I think 7 rounds, Quinn, in total.
7 rounds. Also, I like the vote of confidence, Ron. I like the vote of confidence.
Easy win for Quinn. Yeah. So go check them out. Go check it out. Just look it up on Facebook. It's all there. But if you're in the UK and you're looking for a big event to go to, I don't think you'll find bigger. In fact, it'll be the biggest event or IRL event that we've had for Marvel Crisis Protocol anywhere. Significantly bigger than the Protocol Invitational. I mean, I held a 50-player event. This will be bigger than that one. Any of the ones over in the US that's happened. So I think it's like 120 players total, Quinn, isn't it, that we've got space for?
Yeah, that's what we've got capacity for. I'm not sure how many of those have sold, but it's going to be a decent amount.
Last time I looked, it was sort of 80 tickets.
Ooh.
So as Jonah put, we're past John Bon Jovi, which did make me chuckle, Jonah, when I saw that in the group. Oh, we're halfway there. There we go. Absolute child.
Is this some old people reference? I'm too youthful and lively to understand.
Yep.
Am I too far away from death to understand this reference?
Friday night meetup for spring. I'm going to be there this Saturday night. I thought it was Saturday, Sunday.
It's Saturday, Sunday, but
Yeah.
people that are driving up are like hanging out on Friday.
Okay, cool. So are you doing? I gather you're doing 2 nights then, Jonah. If you're going up on the Friday night, you probably won't be coming back on the Saturday, will you?
I mean, that would be impressive considering you'd come back on the Saturday and then have to go back
To go
up
back,
to the Sunday.
Yeah. Actually, Jonah, mate, I'll message you afterwards anyway. That's fine, guys.
Oh yeah, Glyn makes a very good point. Can we have a very quick poll to see whether we include Juggernaut or not?
It's my turn.
I don't give a fuck. Do a poll.
Quinn is living on a prayer. A fucking wing on a prayer. If you ever see how he rolls, little bastard. Ask Ron. Ron, how good are his dice? They're ridiculous. Never seen anything like it, people. Honestly. In person, this is what he was doing at the last event we were at together. Yeah, every time he rolled, just started screaming, "Hey, Bombay!" And it'd get three.
No,
three
it was every
crits.
time I rolled with Panther, right?
Well, obviously, yeah.
Right, be specific. It's with Panther. It gives me the power of Bast, the Panther spirit.
Bullshit. Utter bullshit. Guys, we're going to leave it there. Hopefully you all have a good weekend. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. As always, if you can, drop a like. It really, really does help. Really, really appreciated. Apologies there's no news, but, turns out we don't do announcements at cons anymore.
File your letters of complaint to Atomic Mass Games. Their headquarters will be found on their website if you need an address.
Or just message that guy off Facebook. And just stare. Cool.